Alrighty, this is 48 Conklin, and today here I have a disassembled Glock 40 and a few parts that I picked up from Lone Wolf. One thing I got was, it's kind of hard to tell in the bag because it's torn, but I got the ultimate adjustable trigger with a trigger bar. They kind of come as a kit. This one is for 10mm and 45 ACP. I know they make a couple other, they make a different size for the, I think the shoe is the same size, this part here. But it's the bar that makes the difference. And one thing to note is, this is an aluminum trigger. It has a couple adjustment points here and here. And it is very polished on the trigger bar, as well as having a ground down piece here. As you can see on the Glock stock, some people just sand that down, but this is just a kit that they sell, so comes with it. That's just another thing to note there. I also got a firing pin safety. I seem to have pretty good luck with these. It's a cheap part and changes the trigger quite a bit. But first I'll just try to take apart the gun here. Okay. Locking block. Sometimes this locking block is a little snug, but comes out fairly easy with a little bit of prying. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay. Last pin to remove is the trigger housing pin. It's just a plastic pin off the back. Let's see here. Okay, so now I can finally get the whole trigger group out, and I'm left with a bare frame. A couple things to note here. Like I said, that one little bump out there, you can see the geometry of that's changed. And overall the bar is way more polished and just looks better finished in my opinion. Trigger shapes are basically identical. They look pretty similar because this is smooth faced on the G40. But good thing to note here is that the trigger safety here is a lot wider and more comfortable. I think that'll lend to feeling just nicer in the hand. But then you got to take out the bar here. Now one thing to note is this spring, this loop, you want to make sure that you keep the orientation on that correctly. Which that can be a little bugger. I am not changing any springs in this gun. This is going to be kind of a hunting gun. Mainly I just wanted to adjust, get a few things lighter the best I could, and I'm not trying to be like a competition gun or anything like that. I'm going to go in partnership with this little connector here, and I think it'll make a big difference overall in the feel of the trigger. So there we kind of have the trigger bar with the shoe installed. Like I said, so okay, so it's a fairly easy thing to do. Now adjusting this so you don't have too much pre-travel and whatnot, that's going to take a little finagling, which just kind of made that word up, but it's the truth. Will say that this trigger is a lot, I don't know if the bar's a little shorter, but it seems to be just a little bit snugger of a fit. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of monkeying with this to try to get it to fit right, but I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Ran into an issue. You know, as you can see here, it says fits 10 millimeter and 45 ACP, and upon closer inspection, you know, this trigger bar is way too short. So I'm going to see if I can get this trigger bar off, but it must be a kit from, I need to contact the company, but doesn't seem to be the right one. I'll see if I can get this stock one to fit. So yeah, just to confirm, you know, here's my stock trigger bar. .51. Here's the Lone Wolf. 2.38. So that's got to be a 9 mil 40 bar. I'm gonna see if I can make this work with this new bar, or with my old bar. Kind of a letdown, but because you know, it's not like I got shipped the wrong one. It's whoever put it in the bag wrong or something. So I'm gonna see if I can make it work, and I'll be back. Alright, so back again here. I do have my old stock 10 mil bar here. So I'm going to go ahead and got the old trigger off. Basically had to break it. I wasn't sure the easiest way to get it off, but that's a fairly cheap part. Just really want to know if this will work or not. And we'll go from there. So I'm going to try to get this into the frame, and we'll see what it does. See if it has any better fitment with this one. And I mean, they look close, but I mean, it depends on the ink. Yeah, you can see right there. It's quite a bit shorter. I don't know if that was, you know, maybe I'm wrong in thinking this, but it just did not seem to work right in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in the frame and see what it does. Alright, well, I have it on here. Gun is unloaded. So as you can see, I have the trigger, you know, without the new trigger bar, but did a little bit of pre-travel adjustment, which is the front screw. I think I need to get it down just a little bit more, but it seems it's going to take a little adjusting, but it definitely does already feel quite a bit different than the stock trigger. Kind of a little peeved about, you know, the bar not working, because it would have been a hell of a lot easier install and they could have saved this, but I don't know, maybe I'll get with Lone Wolf and see if they'll switch this out. So I'm going to do a few more adjustments and see if I can't get that down a little bit more. So then I will put in this firing pin safety, and I think that'll change quite a bit too. So I'll be right back. So when I'm kind of doing this adjustments, the screw is accessible from the front. It's a little harder to get than you'd think it would be, but it is. You can get to it. Just takes a little bit of effort. You know, this Allen key is very tiny. And it's hard to really tell unless you have the whole slide on, because it changes about how, and I think in their instructions they said you want to have this. So now see, I'm a little bit too close. I mean, that works. I don't know if they meant this one. Well, actually, or this one. I think I was using the bigger one, but maybe I'll just back it up just a little bit, but definitely does feel quite a bit different. Which is hard to tell because I don't have a gauge to be able to, you know, give you guys accurate representation of what I'm getting, but know, it's almost quarter turns is what it needs. Yep. I mean, pre-travel is, in my mind, a hell of a lot better. But I just gotta make sure I didn't go too far. So, don't want to make it unsafe, because that would be kind of counterproductive. Whoop. Oh, come on. Well, that didn't work out that right that time. Okay. I'm gonna just adjust it back up a little bit, and then I'm gonna call it good for pre-travel anyways. Okay. Well, it seems like it should be quite a bit better. Now I gotta try to adjust the back. This one's gonna be a lot harder because you can't twist like this. You can only go a little bit at a time. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna try to make some adjustments and see what. One thing to note is when you are adjusting this back one, want to make sure you don't go too far, because I know on Lone Wolf they have great instructions on their website. I almost got this just too far, and almost had to take the striker out with it on the frame, which isn't bad. You know, just extra work. So I'm gonna need to back it out just a little bit more. See what that does. Kind of find it handy if you can adjust it with it in the frame, but it just seems to be a little extra work. So if you just go ahead and put in this one pin just to hold the trigger, enough to reset it and be able to see what you got. Just seems to help be able to dial it in. Okay, so I backed it out, and the striker is dropping a lot easier. I definitely feel a lot less pre-travel. I might actually take the pre-travel down a little bit more. Reset's very nice. Let me see what I can do here. This one's, oh shit, I didn't even have the locking block in there. Well, it still worked. Yeah, it still worked. Let's see here. Let me try to crank that down just a little bit. All right. Oh yeah. We'll see what that does. I'm going to go ahead and put in the rest of the trigger parts. There we go. Try this out. Okay, so if you can see, you know, the safety's still going to work. As far as reset, I like it a lot. I think I'm not worried about safety on that aspect, and that feels pretty nice. Shame about this, but what can you do really? I'll try contacting the company and see what they have to say, but it is what it is. I do have it working, and it seems to be working pretty good, so no issues there. Finish putting these parts in. So sorry if this is getting to be kind of a longer video. It's just kind of hard to decide what to include and what not to include and all that. So I might go ahead and try to take my slide plate cover off. I haven't had this one off yet, but there we go. Okay, and right now I'm going to go ahead and put in the firing pin safety. So you can take out your pieces here, push down on the firing pin safety. Out comes your extractor, and then you get to your old part here. Get your new part. So here's the Lone Wolf right here, and here's the original Glock. You can see the different tapering. Glock has kind of a shelf on there, and I think you can feel that in the trigger. It does ride on some of these parts, so right in here, and I feel like every time I put in one of these Lone Wolf ones, it seems to smooth it out quite a bit. Essentially you're just simulating wear, but this is a $3 part, and it seems to really do quite a bit. Maybe not measurably, but to feel, it seems like it does something for me anyways. Like I said earlier, this can be kind of a hunting pistol, so I'm not really, my intention is not to make this a carry gun or a duty gun or anything like that. It's just going to be for hunting and kind of leisure shooting, so don't need to get too crazy with the trigger pull, but just wanted it lighter to have a better, more positive feel. Go ahead and line this up. Okay, and what you want to do is push down this spring here. Get your plate to click. Have the new firing pin stop in there, or safety. Like I said before, keep all your old parts. It's always good to have them. Let's go ahead and get the barrel back in. Recoil spring. So that basically got rid of a lot of, basically, I would say got rid of most of the pre-travel. I mean, you gotta have some if you want to be safe, but reset's very nice. I don't know. Overall, I think this whole little package in here, throwing these few parts, I think that definitely does help out this trigger. I've put in the Ghost bar. I would have put in a Lone Wolf, but you know, it was just handy at that time to get that one. Yeah, so overall, I think that this is a fairly nice trigger. Save for the little mix up there from the factory, but I don't see any issue with it. Probably should put this pin back in. You know, it's amazing how well some of these parts work, even if you don't have. Where'd that go? It's amazing how well they work, just in general, because you know, like a few here, it's just kind of hard on camera to remember exactly everything. But it's good to make sure you have all your parts before you shoot it, that's for sure. There we go. Okay, so everything's assembled back. Shit, you can see right there. That's a lot different feeling trigger. I definitely think that that's a worthy buy. Apparently you can just buy the shoe. I probably should have just done that, because I think they charge you extra for this, and kind of gotten taken on that, but oh well, it's going to work well for me. I don't have any real complaints here with it. There we go. So that is the ultimate adjustable trigger for Lone Wolf. And I like it. I'm definitely going to shoot this real soon. And I'll let you know kind of an update on how I feel. It's made me change in the way I shoot this gun. Like I said, this is going to be a hunting gun. I'm going to probably do this most of the time from a blind with it rested. So, you know, it's a little bit different situation than trying to carry it. So, but yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with that. There's a lot of triggers on the market, but, you know, it's a nice, simple, affordable trigger. So we'll go from there. I'll see what it does for me.